Welcome back to StoneBlock, and you saw at the end of the last episode, yes, ding dong, the Ender Dragon is dead, and we are now converting 4 blocks of Draconium over into 4 blocks of Awakened Draconium. Now, this does need 6 Draconic cores and the Dragon Heart itself, which we got from the dragon, and it's going to take an awful long time. So we're going to need some power, or at least more power first. Fairly soon. It's going to take an age to actually make this, but we'll just leave it running. There's nothing. The only problem I would say is that if you do start this, don't shut your game down because it won't resume from where it left off. Leave it alone in the background if you have to. Otherwise, let's head back to the base and have a look at some other stuff, because that's not the only stuff we got from the dragon. There were 2 sets of scales that we got, and if we get these scales from Tiny Progressions, you can't make them, it just drops from dragons, and we've killed sort of a dragon. But if you wanted to make armor that gave you flight, you could do that. Full set give you flight, strength, fire resistance, and resistance. I've already got a set that does that, so I'm going to leave that alone for the moment. However, we did also get 8 dragon scales of mystical aggreditions. And they let us make essentially dragon scale seeds, I assume, or dragon seeds. Let's take a look. So if we go for uses of that, still in this, let's just go for uses of this. It makes dragon egg seeds. It drops from ender dragons. Good. Those seeds make dragon egg essence, which can be used to make a dragon egg chunk. And 3 chunks make a dragon egg. Okay, which can then be used for other purposes. A premium power cell. Okay, it can transfer an awful lot of RF per tick. That is in Woot. We have death. Stops Ender Dragon death sounds within a 32 block radius. It's almost like we want to be killing lots of Ender Dragons in the future. Also, its ingredients for Solar Panel 8, the Dragon Eggs, and Celestial Manipulator. Not sure what that is. Haven't used those previously. What are you actually used for? Anything? Doesn't tell me anything, but that's fine. And I have no idea what that recipe is, because it doesn't really tell me other than it's the arrow. Oh, it's the chaotic. Yeah, it's the highest tier upgrade for weapons, and that's 2 billion RF. Yeah, that might be a little bit of a time, but we need lots of dragon eggs. So to get that, we want to make the essentially the seeds, and for that, let's just have a look. We want 4 Insanium Essence and Tier 6 Crafting Seeds. I've already made the Tier 6 Crafting Seeds because they can be a little bit annoying. Essence, do I have any of the highest tier? No. So I've got some of the Supremium Essence. It's now just piling up, obviously, because we're not using it terribly, but we are getting a lot of it. So let's get the Infusion Crystal. I've got the one with uses left. And we're just going to, oops, there we go. I'm just going to need 4 of you. And then we shall set one of these up like this. Okay, and this will get us Dragon Egg Seeds. And then we have 4 Dragon Scales left. Oops, this syncs with here. So what are the other options for the scales? The other options are the Dragon Egg Crux, and that's what we need to combine with the seeds, otherwise they won't grow. So we have to have them both anyway. That means we need 9, 18, 19, 20 Insanium Essence, which we may not actually have. Let's just, or not have enough for. Let's grab the Infusion Crystal and the Insanium. Oh, we don't have the Insanium, do we? Just go for Essence. We have 98. That might actually be enough. Let's have a look. And let's convert it all up. 24. Yep. And if we just convert you over into 2 blocks and get 2 of you. And let's just look at the crux. Oops. I put the wrong thing. Oh, we already have a Dragon Egg Crux. Fine. Yeah, we got it was a quest reward, I think, or something like that. So I don't need to create one, but if you do, then obviously you need these options. That's fine. I'll put those back for now. We can always craft them downwards. It's not a waste. What else is there for a dragon scale? Anything else I can use up? Not really there, and I don't want to make. We definitely don't want to make the dragon leggings using these scales. So there's not really much else to actually use them for, which is fine. We can make another set of seeds, of course, or another crux, but until we get more of them, then that's not going to really be much help. So in the meantime, we're okay there. We're going to want some dirt and fertilized dirt, that is, and a hoe, I think. Stone hoe that you will do for now. And let's go and place them down. Now, these are not going to be above that stack of 64 that I mentioned, unless that stack of 64 can search further up, I guess. But for now, it's fine. I'm just going to need to put this down here. Hold that. These I've moved them down from this column. These should act as a water block, so I shouldn't need to do anything there. I'm just going to put the seeds down. I'm going to set this to 3 by 3 instead of 1 by 1. And then we're just going to head down to put you there, and we're going to put the crux down here. So that should let them... is that what concrete it is? I'm just going to get some stone. That should let that seeds grow, although it will take a little bit of time to grow because it doesn't have the growth accelerators underneath it. I may well have to put a column down there as well. I still haven't found any better way of accelerating things, at least at the moment, than using either the acceleration wand or those growth accelerators. So stone. Let's just grab some boring regular stone and just fill that hole in right there. Are you growing? You are growing. Good, good. So yeah, we should be starting to get some dragon egg seeds. Remember, our filters here are set a little bit strangely. We've got whitelist of only allowing the nether stars and the extra special bone meal. So in here, we should start getting once it comes, let's get the acceleration wand. That's the illumination wand. Where's my acceleration wand? There it is. If I right click on this, or in fact, if I just right click there, we should see that automatically get taken soon, I hope. This is 3 by 3, so it should really be working. Show me the preview. Ah, yes, it did get taken. Good. It's not missing that middle gap. And if we have a look in here, hopefully, unless this has got the filter set incorrectly, you are blacklisting those. Otherwise, you should be sending the essence to this. Ah, here it is. So Dragon Egg Essence. There we go. And we actually, a compressor will do the job here as well, but since we're already in here, let's just actually make the recipe like this. And that's going to go internal and apply. Because when we get to Dragon Egg chunks, I don't think there's any other need for the chunks. There's only one recipe, that's to make more dragon eggs. So once I get to a chunk, when this gets up to 9, then I'll put an extra recipe in to generate dragon eggs. And then they'll start appearing in here until I then add them to the whitelist filter over here to let them out of the system. Okay? So that's that job. We do have one dragon egg, however, and there is a mill. Dragon egg mill that can use it, and that will give us 500 GP. Do we have everything we need? Almost. We need one of you. That's straightforward. What's an eye of redstone? Oh, that also may be straightforward once I actually make more of these. There we go. One more. And that gets us the mill. We also have the dragon egg itself. There it is. If you don't have to pick up dragon eggs, just go into the end, dig underneath the dragon egg, but not the block underneath. The block underneath that, put a torch down on the floor, and then knock the block out. The dragon egg will fall down and hit the torch and then detach and come into your inventory. So I just want to turn off this for a second. I'm going to put the mill in here. I did turn that off, didn't I? Or did I turn it on? I think I turned it on. Oh no. Oh no. Fine. Did I turn it on? Yeah, I did. No wonder. Let's turn it off. Yeah. Great. So I have this block in the middle. It's just stone burnt at the moment. That's got the ender tether on top of it. It doesn't much matter where we put this, so I'm going to just knock that ender tether out for a second and just put it down here. It doesn't much matter where it is. And I will put the dragon egg mill on top of here, I think, just as a nice location. and put the dragon egg on top of that. And we should be getting lots and lots of grid power. Unfortunately, I can't put the ender tether somewhere else, I guess. I've got that switch there. And then that should be done. So let's just put the two of those back, turn everything back on. And then in our box up here, we should find the rest of that white marble that was running. Yep. So you can all go back, and hopefully I don't make that same mistake again. I'm not sure why I have one left. Anyway, we've got that done. There we go. Let's head back this way. And, oh, yes, one other thing. I did put it in a text comment in the last episode, sort of on screen on the left-hand side. But the reason why my bow was malfunctioning was because of this. The Flux controller, if you go into the... whereabouts? Is that the Flux controller? Yeah, the Flux controller. It's the wireless options. So here, left and right have changed to be off. The wireless charging is still enabled, but if you change these, essentially everything in your inventory will continue to recharge unless it's in your hands. So if I do this, it's no longer going to recharge, which means while I'm holding it, it won't have that weird thing where it doesn't quite appear on the right-hand side. That's happening because it's constantly recharging with RF. So do make sure to do that. You can just, I never remember which way around the hands are. So it is just one of them that's actually appropriate. But since I'm not holding anything else in the left hand that needs charging, just set it like that and then you should be okay. Any other time, when it's not in your hands, it will actually continue to recharge back to 32 million in this case. And that will work perfectly well. Bear in mind, though, that it does wireless recharge pretty much as fast as it possibly can, which will drain the rest of your system unless you're holding it. So just bear that in mind as well. Yeah. Otherwise, let's see just how far this entire Awakened Draconium is from being made. 4%. Okay, I'm going to be there a while. Excuse me. So one of the things I also wanted to do was make extra sources of power. And to do that, I think we have protection against lava now. So what we could consider is just get some marble. I thought I would have some marble. Do I not? Yeah, okay. So some stone then. In fact, I'm going to make some marble. I kind of like this kind of approach. Marble. Sorry, it's not marble. It's called concrete. What am I thinking? Yeah, so let's get some concrete. And now I'm going to dig up. And this is often not well advised. But if we come here, I should be able to dig upwards. We're at Y90 at the moment. I don't know where the ceiling is. It may be at 128 or something. But there is lava up there. A constant plane of lava. However, we have protection against lava. Fire resistance. So I should be able to get through it without much trouble. And I think it's only one deep anyway, so let's get up there and you can watch me die if I choose to die. But otherwise, let's see what it's like. Okay, it's pretty much double what I expected. We're up here at 252. And, yep, this is sort of where I was hoping it wouldn't be. I was hoping it would be 128. But, yep, we've come all the way up here anyway. And now I'm just going to knock out these. Hopefully there's no lava. No, so I can stand somewhere. But as you can see right above us is lava. So I'm just going to make a lava trap just so that that's not going to have an issue. And we're just going to knock that block out. There it goes. There's the lava. And that should just go into there and hopefully not spread out anywhere else. Okay. And yeah, let's put some illumination. Put away our stuff. And put away the rest of the stuff I want in the system, just in case. There shouldn't really be much of an issue. Ender fluid. Why I've got some of that other stuff there, I do not know. Let's put away... Why do I have a venom sword? And we're nice and clean. So everything else is soulbound anyway. Not that I consider there to be much of an issue with this. So let's see if we can head up and out. And let's see what's up there. So flight... In and, well, in and up. And here we are. So here is our overworld. And, yeah, you can't obviously see where we've been, except that I can put down some marble, hopefully. Yeah, there we go, to stand on. And then I can then place other marble, except for where essentially we've just been, which should be right below us. So now I can just dig down. And there is our way back. Why am I up here, you may be asking? Why oh why? Well, not as a lava source, although we could use this as a lava pool, I guess. Because this happens to be in the same dimension we're already in. It's already chunk loaded because it's directly above our base. And we can then use this as a source of solar power if we actually want it. Now, you can, of course, use the mining dimension. There's no problem with doing that. However, up here, we've already got it. So, you know, we may as well just use it more efficiently or as efficiently. So I'm going to fill out a little bit of a region. Take a sort of positional save, let's say facing north. Yeah, north. Let's say here. Shift right click. We're going to basically create a new one. Let's just call it top of the world. Okay, and commit that. And we'll save that, and then I can just teleport back up here whenever I want. Obviously, I can put another dislocation charm or the equivalent, whatever we're going to call them these days, down. But we shouldn't absolutely need that from this point onwards. In fact, we shouldn't really need to get here up here by any of the other means. But we're fine. And then we can think about putting some solar panels down. Of which the only problem here is largely that you can't build up any higher than 256, so I can't actually put a block down here. However, once we've got the lava out of the way, we can dig down a little bit, and then we essentially have, we have a space available should we want it. So there's no real problems with that. We just need to get back, and then, yeah, here we are. Same dimension, and we're chunk loaded, so no real delay about moving around. So now we need to think about solar panels. Okay, and we have some of these, so we may as well use them. These have been quest rewards. So Solar Flux Reborn. Are these ones? Yeah, so photovoltaic cell 4. So solar panel 4 maybe? No, those are 2s. So maybe 6 takes 4s? It does, but it takes some of the previous tier. Okay, so let's work down the tiers. Solar panel 5s, that's gold and glowstone, easy. Clocks are very easy, they're gold and iron. Solar panel 2s, again, easy and iron. Redstone repeaters, etc., nothing special there. And solar panel 1s, which are just mirrors. Mirrors are just glass and iron. So we can start on thinking about crafting some solar panels. And let's just take a quick look at the power we get out of them. So how many of these do we have? We have 27 of each, okay. Remember that it's going to be reduced by 3 each time, but that's only like tier 4 because 27 will go down to 9, will go into 3, will go into 1, etc. So we can get 4,000 FE per tick. So it starts at 256, goes up to what's the Wyvern one, 512,000 FE per tick. Okay, so I'm going to go and make a few of those. We are going to be considering making auto-crafting systems for ME, but not just this episode, so I'll go and do this off camera. The auto-crafting is worthwhile covering an episode all on its own, so I'll just make these off camera. You've seen the recipes, and we'll come back shortly. Okay, so from a couple of stacks of solar panel 1s, which are mirrors, which are glass and iron, I got down to just 2 solar panel 4s, but these are 1,000 FE per tick each, and let's just get a capacitor. Normal capacitor bank is fine. I just want some kind of buffer. We're going to want 8 of these, which means some gold nuggets. Let's get those sorted out. I made some gold seeds, by the way, if I didn't already mention, so they will passively produce me nuggets, and that should do fine. Capacitor. Let's get that again. We could make the higher tiers capacitor bank as well, but I'm only using this as a buffer. I don't need them as power storage. Well, I'd much rather upgrade the ones down here into power storage if we're going to do that kind of thing. So 8 capacitors, that's fine, and then just make 2 capacitor banks if we can afford it. I just need some redstone blocks. Redstone. This is where later on we'll just store redstone in compacting drawers so we can get the block and the dust form. Capacitor bank. And just 2 of, please, I think. Just go underneath these. And then we'll then need a flux. Not a point, we're going to plug, I think. So we're going to feed into the network. So I'm always forgetting what I need for these. I need flux cores, which needs Eyes of Ender. Whoops. And I've already used a few of those, so let's just make a few. And we're short of flux, so I'll need to make some more redstone. Let's see if I've got enough to make this with this center block. No, I'm going to need more flux. That's fine, we'll just get some redstone, put it in an ultimate furnace. Someone did say, by the way, you can just replace this coal with sticks, and you absolutely can. A stick can make like a couple of stacks of... A single stick can make a couple of stacks of items in here, so just to prove the concept, let's put our redstone through it. And that's just one stick. Okay, so we should be doing just fine. And we can get that flux block and then the plug. I need one more set of flux cores. Flux plug, there we go. All right, and now let's head upstairs to the top of the world. And I've only got 2 of these, so I'm gonna have to dig down twice. So why don't I put them here, for instance? So 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that'll still do just fine. We'll put the capacitor bank here and here. And then the solar panels can go on top. And if we just step downstairs, if I look in here, are we getting anything? We are. So it's the equivalent, it seems, of 256 RF per tick, which is 2000 FE per tick. So that is sort of like adding 2 of those, what are they called? The Spectre coils. Yeah, and of course, that's going to work fine. And then we just want to think about actually providing this power elsewhere if we can. So, did I put... Oh, it must be in the wall. Yeah, it is. There it is. So I can actually configure the I/O to say this is an output, and we can just put the flux plug right here and choose the network. There we go. So it should be providing power to that network when we need it. Yeah, you can see it's sort of fluctuating right now. It's going up still. The maximum amount obviously will depend on the time of day given the solar panels. And of course, whenever we want to upgrade these, we'll just remove these, craft them into the next tier. What's the next tier up going to need? Solar panel 5, isn't it? So 5 needs 4 of them. So I need another couple of stacks of solar panel 1s to get all the way up to a 5, or 2 5s, I should say. Sorry, 2 of these make one of the next tier up. So yeah, it's not this 2793 I was talking about before. It's going to be 2 to 1 essentially, but you need to have 2 batches or 2 batches worth before getting these. Yeah, so we'll need to think about that. But once we get to this, this quadruples the amount of power we get out of them compared to the previous tier. So yeah, I'm happy for basically a doubling of, well, sorry, halving of the number of these. We get quadruple the power. So it is beneficial to go up through the tiers whenever we can. Okay, so that's a little bit more power. Not that our system is going to be doing too much until I get this sorted. So in all this time, I have done some stuff off camera. What are you up to? 12%. Okay. Yes, I don't think I'm going to show this on this episode. Assume that we will get that Awakened Draconium. And from that, we can... Is there a crux for Awakened Draconium? Crux. Looks like there is. I may already have one. I think we may have got one of those as a reward. Yes, we did. So we can think about putting that in front of the harvester as well. And then that means we only need the awakened seeds. Yeah, so for those seeds, we need the same recipe as before that we made for the dragon eggs. And awakened draconium ingots, of course, come straight from blocks. So as soon as we get that block through that charging, we can make awakened draconium seeds. They will in turn make awakened draconium essence, and none of those make nuggets. None of those make an ingot, and of course we can get back up to blocks that way. Once we're into Awakened Draconium stuff, however, we can make a bunch of other stuff. Yes, the energy cores and flux capacitors, that's an alternative to the wireless power. You can keep some power on hand in your inventory. I'm not sure why you'd want to create an Awakened dislocator, but the main thing, aside from the dimension builder, which is going to be amazing once we have that, is that we can use it for fusion crafting. And that's a bunch of recipes. Yes, the reactor core will give us lots of energy. Once we have lots of energy, sort of a little bit of a problem. We need chaos shards for that. That means we're probably going to need the upgraded armor from Draconic Evolution. We can't really get away with the Wyvern armor. I'm not sure how good the Supremium armor does, so normally I go for the Draconium armor. And you can see here we can upgrade Nether Stars into Awakened cores. Now, importantly, we want the armor upgrade. So here is the armor. You need these Awakened cores to do that. And you make the Wyvern helm and can upgrade that to the Draconic helm. And those can also, just like the bow did, have lots of different upgrades that we can apply all through fusion crafting. But the sheer amounts of power we're going to need means that very often, and probably very soon now, we're going to need a much better way of generating power. I've done some solar panels. That's fine as far as it goes, but we're going to need a lot more than that. And that's where we sort of get into heading towards extreme reactors. Now, this is legacy in brackets. I'm not sure why that is. I assume it's still functional, because legacy normally means, it's the stuff that's been left behind from previous versions. So, yeah, a lot of this just does say legacy on it, but I'm assuming it's still going to work just fine. Extreme reactors are a very, very nice thing to make. They need lots of stuff, though, to make them. Reactor casings and, let's have a look. Not the turbine glass. Tesla power tap? I don't remember it called being Tesla power tap. Just a power tap would be fine. Okay. So there's different power taps you can get from different power standards. So we can just get redstone flux power taps. That's going to work just fine. That's turbine housing, of course. So yeah, reactor glass. That needs some reactor casings. That needs some graphite. Graphite we can make directly, or we can just smelt it from coal. A lot of this kind of stuff sort of lends itself to thinking about auto-crafting. So, given that we're going to be thinking about auto-crafting, what we're going to need to want to make is some molecular assemblers. They're going to take some formation cores and some annihilation cores, quartz glass as you might expect. And they are the auto-crafting system for Applied Logistics 2. Also in the pack is refined storage, so if you prefer refined storage, to do your auto crafting for you, that is available as well. Along with molecular assemblers, we're also going to need interfaces. Okay, here we are. Yeah, interfaces. Same thing, formation and annihilation cores. And those are going to need lots of processors, logic processors, and what's the annihilation core? Sorry, the formation core. Yeah, same kind of processors, logic in both cases. And that means we're going to have to think about making more processors, but also then we have the usual argument about how we lay this thing out. Okay, so can we actually make one of those? We can. And I'm out of formation cores and annihilation cores, so I also want just a molecular assembler, or a few, just to demonstrate this before I start making these stuff. So let's just make 2 of those, and let's make some formation cores, 2 of those. And do I need some quartz glass? Probably. Need some actual glass. I need to think about making more of that. I'm down quite a lot on glass, so why don't I just put some in the ultimate furnace. And I'll just put the sand away for now. So with some quartz glass, then we can make the molecular assembler. Wow, my spelling today. Molecular. Okay, I've got 4 of them. That's enough to demonstrate the argument. Okay, so popping downstairs for a second. We've not really put this anywhere yet, so we might think about putting some over here. The usual argument to be had is how you lay out your interfaces and molecular assemblers. So let me just grab a couple more interfaces. I need the cores for that, don't I? Yeah, and that should be straightforward. And annihilate formation cores. I made some of those processes anyway, so I thought I'd be needing this sooner or later, so we may as well have those. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. So the usual argument is how you arrange these. The interfaces, if we put one down with some smart cable, let's just grab some smart cable. Even this stuff will do. We don't need it terribly much. 1, 2. So if we put an interface down, the interfaces contain patterns, and a pattern is just a recipe. We just create a pattern terminal, if I remember correctly, and you just create a recipe. So each one of these interfaces can have up to 9 patterns. They can also then do work on anything they're connected to. So if this cable, for example, is connected into the bottom rather than the side, you can imagine I could just put them around like this. And one here. In fact, can we just... will that still work if I just put one there? It is connected. Yeah, so that's fine. So now we can take 9 different recipes and it can simultaneously craft 4 because it's connected to them. The argument then becomes, instead of stacking them, so instead of putting another one here and then another 4, how you actually lay these out, because we could just put it here. And this could share these 2 with this one. And similarly, if I put another one there, you end up with this checkerboard pattern that spreads out quite quickly. I tend not to go for that, and I know there's lots of people have different thoughts on it. The alternate thing you can do, of course, is put the molecular assembler in the middle with interfaces around the outside. Of course, when you do that, basically you get a lot more recipes. You get 9, 18, 20, 36 recipes, but they can only craft one thing among those 36 recipes at once. It depends very much on what you're doing. If you have a stuff that requires a lot of different stages to craft, so let's say we wanted to craft solar panel wyvern, maybe not wyvern, but yeah, the dragon egg one. You can imagine how many steps it has to craft these, and it has to craft any of those it doesn't have, craft any of those it doesn't have, and you go back down descending. By the time you get to it, it takes a long time for it to autocraft. It's still faster than you doing it, but what it'll tend to do, if I remember rightly, it'll tend to make all the lowest tier stuff first. Then it'll start working its way up through the tiers to actually get to what you want. So depending on how you arrange this, and depending on where you install the patterns, because you can create 2 separate arrays of these things with the patterns for one thing and one array, etc., so they never interfere with each other. Depending on how you arrange those will depend very much on your efficiency and speed. Now, this is where I turn it over to you guys, because this is always an unholy argument with applied logistics. What do you think? How should we lay those out? The easiest thing is just to go for checkerboard and don't worry about it. But I'm always open to hearing the most efficient way of doing things. So that's over to you. And I just thought I'd cover this in the last few minutes of this episode because we will be building it next episode and then probably thinking about more expansive planologistic stuff because, frankly, I need more storage. I've got these 2. They are filling up slowly, and don't be confused by the green lights. They only have a few types left in each of those. I had to craft an extra couple of drives to allow them to continue. So we will have to expand that storage fairly soon, and because of our automated generation, we're up to 37,000 nether quartz. Now, when I start expanding the chicken farm to do other things, lots of other things will get expanded as well, and we'll have to think about storing those long term, and I'm probably going to put those into a storage controller of some kind, or drawers with upgrades on them without a controller, so we can use them like deep storage from what used to be called MFR, what's now called whatever it's called. I forget. Industrial foregoing, I think, something like that. And that does remind me we're in Dragon Egg Essence, so we can then set this up to. Oh, in fact, no, we've already got that. We've already got that recipe. We want the. Oops, let's get rid of you. Is it Dragon Egg Chunk? Is it 3? Yes, it is 3. And I want it in this. I want it in this one. There we go. All external apply. That will automatically make dragon eggs. So we take the dragon egg out, and we can use that as the whitelist entry over here. There we go. And then it will allow dragon eggs out. Can I put that back in here? I can, and it's gone successfully. It should have gone into our system. So we now should be getting dragon eggs automatically. Dragon, yep. And obviously we can put more mills in effect if we want more grid power, but I don't need them just yet. We are going to use the dragon eggs for other purposes. You even get a dragon head. Yeah, so we've got other purposes like the Woot power cells, Death Muffler, and as seen before, to get to a certain level of solar panel. In fact, let me just check what that Celestial Manipulator is. I assume it's a weather changer, but in fact, yeah, it may be a daytime, nighttime changer. It's got a clock in it, so that's more expected. All right, so we've now got dragon eggs on production. We've got a nether star on production. I've got down here, I did between the episodes, I've got gold seeds, I've got diamond seeds, and black quartz seeds, and draconium. Draconium I've got 3 or 4 of because we need quite a lot of those. The diamonds are probably, and diamonds and gold, I'm probably going to actually add more of these. We are going to need more diamonds later in the game because in Avaritia, if I get that with an @ sign in front of it, Avaritia, it needs a huge amount of stuff. So let's take a look at the Infinity Helmet. Okay, that needs all of this stuff. And aside from the Neutronium, ignore those. If you look at Infinity Ingots and Infinity Catalysts need lots of different stuff, including Diamond Lattices and Crystal Matrix Ingots. And these Infinity Ingots also need Crystal Matrix Ingots and Infinity Catalysts. And these take the Diamond Lattices as well, and they're made from diamonds. So 5 diamonds for each lattice, a couple of nether stars. So we're going to need a lot of diamonds. A lot of diamonds to actually make that. So I'm going to make more seeds. The Infinity Catalysts, you sort of create the setup to create this kind of thing in the late game. I'm not sure whether I have done that previously in Project Ozone 2. I'm not sure whether I should really do that level of stuff. Yeah, it's just very time consuming. Avaritia is meant to be a very, very end game, ridiculously over the top. In fact, Draconic Evolution was supposed to be ridiculously over the top, and then Avaritia came along and said, yeah, you know about that? Yeah, here's something that's even more over the top. So, yeah, a power creep. It's an in-joke about power creep in the modding community. Anyway, lastly, I just want to say I'm going to make a Paxel, I think. There is a Supremium Paxel, which takes some of the tool cores and then lets us create something that can mine, can dig, and what's the other thing in a Paxel? Mine, dig, and chop down trees, but we don't necessarily need the axe. It's just a short way of combining the shovel and a pickaxe, and that needs the tool cores. Now, I think I was already making some of them. Yeah, I got up to the green tier, but I'm going to have to make more of those. I'll make the Paxel between the episodes. There's nothing excessive there. You've seen this kind of thing before. And in fact, what was I being blocked by? Just gold, I think. So I made some gold seeds and that will help. But I'll show you that next episode. And for now, I think we're done for this one. I obviously will need to leave the game open and let it just charge up. We've got some solar panels going, and we've got some more overpowered stuff on the way. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like it if you have. And we'll see you next episode for some more StoneBlock. Thanks a lot for watching.